Hello, ladies. This is Kate. The show is brought to you by Amazon with over 200 million products to sell. It's a great way to support our podcast. You can buy anything. Knowing ladies, we love shoes and handbags and pretty much everything girly. So whatever you're buying, if you could do us a favor and go to ewchannel.com/Amazon to make any purchases through our store, that would really help us out. Enjoy the podcast. If you'd like to check out the show page for this particular episode that has everything we talk about, just go to ewchannel.com/1.
Welcome to the Empowered Women's Channel podcast, the home for vibrant living. Our goal every session is to inspire you with new and interesting ideas. Join us and let's change the planet together. So are you ready, Kate?
I'm ready, Bo.
Let's go!
Well, welcome everybody to the inaugural first Empowered Women's Channel podcast.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! We're so excited to be here with you. My name is Kate Stellman from miraclemana.net and extremehealthradio.com.
And I'm Bo Wong from myorganiclife.info.
And we just want to tell you guys a little bit about why we started this podcast. It's just so exciting to be here, isn't it?
This is so fun.
Wow, a lot of background has been building to this, and gosh, it's amazing to see it just start to go down, isn't it?
Yeah, and to grow and everything.
It's pretty amazing story.
Yeah.
So why? How did this start? Let's talk a little bit about how this came to be. Well, there's something in us when we both met, and we'll get into our story a little bit later, about there had to be a place for women, by women, for women, to come meet women of all different ages, all different ethnicities, backgrounds, careers, things. There's just so many stories out there, and you and I alone can't count on our hands how many women have just impacted our lives directly and have a story to share.
Absolutely.
So as far as, I guess our vision in this all is to create has been to create a platform that we can all be a part of. And there's enough for all of us. It's not about you and me. This is about us. This is about
all of us coming together as one. And also I think, I don't know, we've both been just so inspired that we are thinking big, and we've got, it's so great, isn't it? It's just like, I don't know, it doesn't even feel like work, but we are doing so much work. Like even this morning, I got asked by someone, are you working again? It's really early. You went to bed really late. If you could not sleep, would you just work? And I was like, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, I would.
It's true though.
Yeah.
You're doing something, you're aligned with your life's purpose. When, of course, it's work, but it doesn't feel like the drudgery that we're used to.
Exactly.
I don't know about you, but I mean, where I came from, I've had a long history with a job I shouldn't say hated. I'm trying to stay a little more positive, but I haven't enjoyed it for many, many years. And now that I'm in this space of such creativity and inspiration, I'm comparing it to my old career, and I don't have any desire to, I realize I've never loved it. And I think that's what starts to kill me, that women stay in these careers and these life paths for so long, not having anything to compare it to, the full lives that we really are meant to live. And
I think so. And, for me, I have done so many things, and I've tried out so many things, and I've learned so many things to try and discover what my strengths were and what I actually wanted to do.
Absolutely.
It got to a point with my friends where, when they'd meet another one of my friends, they'd be like, so what's the latest thing that Bo's doing now? She was doing photography before. What's she up to now?
You're a Jane of all trades.
Ooh, I like that.
You like that? No, but it's true. I know what you mean. And I feel like, at our age, we're both 35 years old. And I feel like I'm just coming into my own.
Yeah,
I don't know about you, but
yeah. And do you know what? I haven't felt younger. I feel like I'm in my 20s.
Yes.
And the silliness, I love it.
I know.
I love it.
We've had some laughs in the past week.
And we've had people laughing at us, which is better.
I love when people laugh at me.
I know.
Well, we should talk a little bit about where we came from, just so people know. So I'll start out. I want to share with you guys that I came from 15 years of being a hairstylist, and in the last probably 6 months or so, I've cut down from working a full-time job in the salon full-time all those years to about 3 days a week. And then now I'm slowly trickled down to one. And unfortunately, it's come at a cost from my health, from really putting myself in a lot of harm's way with the chemicals and things that I felt like it was never going to catch up with me. You hear about these chemicals that are so damaging to your health and your psyche, and the drain that people can take on you or from you and leave on you all these years. And I haven't been happy in my job for about the last 10 out of the 15 years. And it's just finally, it's exciting to see something going on. So my husband started a radio show, an online radio show called ExtremeHealthRadio.com about a year and a half ago. And when he first started it, I was on board at this point. I had totally changed my eating habits. I'd been gluten-free for a while. I, tried the raw diet and dabbled in paleo. And I'd come from a place of being, probably in the last 8 years, my health just severely declined. The salon job definitely played a part in that, as well as my life not being very happy in my career led me down the path of, eating and the whole foodie movement.
Yeah.
A lot of meeting friends for drinks every night.
Yeah.
Probably too much wine, in my opinion. But, at the time it was what it was, and we all do what we have to get through at the time. But when I kind of felt like that became a crutch, my eyes, kind of scales were lifted off my eyes, and I was able to see my life and where was I going? What was I doing? This had no purpose. I wasn't happy in my job. I had a great relationship going, but with my husband. So I decided to kind of join him on our Extreme Health Radio project together. So for the last year, we've been broadcasting 3 to 4 days a week live, and we've really met some amazing people along the way. And now it's just become so apparent that this is my life's purpose. And kind of, I think what happened, and as you guys get to know us more, I'm sure our stories will just flow out of our mouths. But I did have just an overriding sense of wanting to do something just for women, because the emails I'd get in weekly from people going, let's get, can we cover this woman's issue, or how would you do this, or how would you go about that, or how do you eat? And this is stuff that's like, I'm just a regular person, but I am a woman, and women love women's opinions, especially when they feel like they connect with you and stuff. So it's kind of how. Let's talk a little bit about you and where you came from, and maybe how we connected.
Sure. So I've got a bit of a weird background, as you can tell from my accent.
I love your accent. Your crazy accent.
My crazy accent, and I know you can't understand me half the time as well when I'm talking to you.
I love it though. It's endearing.
But so I was originally born in New Zealand, but I've been living in London for about the last 10 years. Discovering what I want to do, and I've always been pretty creative and very visual in everything that I do.
Can I vouch for that and say very creative? I'm getting to know you.
Especially at the moment, because I'm doing what I love.
Absolutely.
But, I've had my struggles as well. Like, I partied a lot during my 20s, probably more than most, about the same maybe than most. I'm not really sure what the standard is, but, I've had some fun times. But I'm the same as you. Within the last, I guess, few years, my health declined really badly as well. And, I had chronic asthma, my eyesight, my prescription of my glasses, I noticed, I'd have to go every year to get it increased.
Wow.
I've got really bad eczema. I had adrenal fatigue. I got diagnosed with that, and I had really bad sleeping problems. I was getting really bad sharp shoulder pains as well. And that also, I was getting really bad migraines. And it got to a point that it was so bad when for about 3 days out of the month, I would be taken out by these migraines and headaches. And it was getting, worse and worse. And for me, that was like a really big signal saying, hey, something's wrong. And, I went down the regular routes. Like, I went to the doctor, and he prescribed me pills, pink pills and yellow pills that I had to take. And sometimes they worked, sometimes they didn't, but I'd still be out and I'd still feel awful. And I also looked at going to a migraine clinic, but it was like $2,500. And I mean, I don't know how many of you out there, but I definitely couldn't afford it at the time. And I didn't want to spend that kind of money on it. So I started looking down more alternative routes. And I looked down at acupuncture because I thought, I've got a bit of an Asian background, and I just thought, hey,
these are my peeps.
Yeah, this is like my heritage. Maybe this might work. I wasn't too sure about people sticking needles in me.
Absolutely. I've been there too. I know.
Yeah, but I was in so much pain that I just thought, if this doesn't work, I can stop it. And randomly a voucher was online for like a massage and, an acupuncture session. And I just thought, hey, why not? And I remember the first one I had, I think I slept for about 14 hours after it, and I was out, and I just couldn't believe the effect it had on me. And I just thought, something's happening and it's working, and I can't have these migraines anymore, because it was getting to the point where I was going to have to forfeit my holiday pay, in order to take sick days off.
Oh my gosh.
So, anyway. And then I also thought, this health stuff, it's starting to work. And I slowly started to change my diet, and I started to listen to Extreme Health Radio, which was how we connected. And I also changed my blog, because I used to be a food blogger and I used to blog about design, because that's my background.
Wow.
And I mean, that was great. I used to get invited to all sorts of parties and food events and, so different from my life now.
Love that? I know, but yeah.
Yeah. But, I didn't feel great a lot of the time. And sometimes I had to miss out because I had headaches or, I just wasn't as perky as I am now. So,
wow.
Yeah, we connected. Like, I remember being on one of your shows, and for me, that was just like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, I've been listening to these guys for a while, and I'm actually on their show. This is crazy,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and
that's so flattering, because we're just people.
I know, but it was just, I don't know, radio for me has always been a big thing. And I know we talked the other day, I remember as a kid, I used to do radio shows with my cousins. And it's kind of funny that now I'm doing a podcast.
I thought you'd be sitting behind a microphone having a worldwide broadcasted conversation.
I know.
It's funny what you look back at in your life and you think, wow, that was something that mattered to me when I was young, and then life happens.
Yeah.
And it just piles a bunch of things on you that you normally, it's just sad that we don't get to kind of pursue those things more and experiment more when we're young, because we're bogged down with homework and friends and life and
people's opinions also of what they think we should be doing.
Absolutely.
And the career paths that we should be taking.
I think that's changing a lot, though, in today's day and age. It seems like a lot of people we're waking up to what we're missing out on.
Yeah,
we're becoming awake, I think, for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I know but more people now in careers that are more kind of off the beaten path than ever before.
Absolutely.
We're all taking chances.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the turning point for me as well was, I've been in the corporate environment, doing design, working on like interactive, digital magazines and brand guidelines and all the kind of boring stuff that I don't really want to do.
Yes.
And I quit my job last November to pursue this career in, what we're working on together. And since then, wow, what a journey it's been, huh?
What a journey. I was actually flipping through a magazine and I found this quote, and I ripped it out and put it on my board back here for both Extreme Health Radio and Empowered Women's Channel. You can't stop an idea whose time has come.
Oh, I love that.
And I found that, Bo, after you and I had first started getting in touch with each other.
Really?
Yeah, and I thought, that there's something so powerful about that. It stuck out to me. It jumped out to me. I had to rip it out. I don't even know what kind of ad it was from, but
yeah,
it is true. When something's time has come, there really is no stopping it. And it's, God, the universe put us in the exact right situation to intersect at the exact right time.
Exactly.
To make this possible. And this is a big leap of faith for us, but the overflowing power.
Oh, my goodness.
The women that are coming to us, being attracted to us, without even knowing what we're really about.
I know.
We've just begun our journey.
And that's the most inspiring thing for me, because, I go to a lot of networking events, and I'll go there and I'll hand out a couple of cards and I'll talk to people, and they won't even know what I'm talking about, really. They know that I'm starting some kind of Empowered Women's channel. And I think because I'm so passionate about it and I'm so enthusiastic about everything, they're like, I want to be part of it. And I'm thinking, I just told you that I'm still building the website and, I'm not really sure where it's going.
But sign me up.
But they're like, yeah, I want to be part of this movement. So there's definitely a need for it out there, for a platform where we can come together as one and, really look after ourselves and each other and the earth. be mothers of the earth.
I completely agree. And that's where the beauty of the name channel comes into when you and I were looking at names at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Network is great. There's a lot of people networking, you know, a group or a tribe. That's cool. But people have those. Something when you brought up the word channel really resonated with me.
Yeah.
Because a channel is just, that's what it is. A channel's open. A channel is an opening to everything. And to watch where the Empowered Women's channel is going to be headed and is heading is beyond exciting. So we can all watch it unfold together, and it's just amazing. So we want you all involved. So thanks for even listening to this first inaugural edition
of us.
Yes. And it's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I love that we came up with the fact that, you know, our audience, our target audience is any woman from 0 to 105.
Well, let's talk a little bit about where we came up with that number, that scale, the age scale. It did, you know, it did come out of a book that I'd read, and I quote this often on the Extreme Health Radio podcast, but it's The Women Who Run with Wolves. And I don't know if anyone out there has read that. I'm sure a lot of women have, but I think near the end of the book, she has these breakdowns of cycles of a woman's life. Every 7 years, we've always been told that we go in cycles of rejuvenation. Our skin rejuvenates every 7 years. Our hair goes through this phase. You know, I don't know about you, but I've always heard that growing up. But in this book, she actually breaks down into categories, and it starts at 0, and she goes to 105. So I thought, doesn't that sound like a perfect, if you're a woman between 0 and 105, this is the place for you. However, if you're 106, we're very sorry that you don't feel invited.
Yeah, we might expand that later on, I think.
That'll be next year's project.
Yeah, maybe. And I'm just so excited about, you know, everyone that we have so far that wants to be involved. And also how I've got here, because about 3 months ago, I never thought I'd be sitting in a studio in California doing a podcast with you.
It's unreal.
I mean,
it's
the
unreal.
Synchronicity of how everything has worked out. Just even me, you know, having someone like when I was like, okay, what am I doing? I've quit my job. I'm working on this project that I don't actually know where it's going. I'm just trusting that it's going to work. And I was like, you know, I met a couple of other people through Extreme Health Radio who are, you know, into health in London, and they had a room on offer. Someone had just come back from New Zealand that was staying up with us that needed a room, and I was like, perfect. You can take my room. I can move out. I can go and stay with these other people and help them, you know, and Victoria Cosmic, who is part of our channel. I got to know her a little better, and it's just all happened. And, you know, even coming here, that was only decided on like within the last 2 months that I was going to do that. But wow, how much have we got done as well?
This has been a wild roller coaster for us.
It has.
It's, you know what? I know we've both said that when we lay our heads down to sleep every night that you've been here, our minds just don't turn off.
They don't.
It's that exciting of a time for us.
I know. And I've never been so inspired or creative.
Me too.
I am just churning out so much and contacting everyone.
And you have. Let me tell you, your strengths are my weaknesses. So it works out very, very well.
But yeah, we've got transformational coaches. You know, we've got health and wellness speakers. We've got people that are in beauty, that are in fashion. We've got people that are going to be talking about relationships and feminine issues and, you know, feminine problems.
Self-confidence issues.
Exactly. We've got DIY projects that people can do. How you can make your own makeup and cleaning products to live a more chemical-free life, which to me is really, really important.
Right. And I know my own experience with, you know, years of just having chemicals invade my body and take over. And that's, you know, that's in an extreme situation in a hair salon. You're exposed to way more toxins than most people. But in our everyday homes and everyday lives, I mean, I can't even put a number on probably how many chemicals go into one cleaning product, beauty bar. I mean, things if we're not very aware sneak in there.
Yeah, they do.
And we're not aware of it. So it's just, this is a good way to expose some truths and help women be empowered to make better choices. And you know, the more you start making time for yourself and caring about yourself and valuing yourself, these little changes are subtle, but they're huge.
They are. And, you know, I remember a story Like, I remember you guys had a podcast about teeth and, how our teeth are connected to meridians in our bodies and they can tell us a lot about what's going on in our bodies. And I, like you have, I've had asthma for years and I've pumped a lot of probably Ventolin into my system to the point where I think my teeth were becoming a bit translucent at the front and I had really sensitive teeth and, I was using a lot of whitening toothpaste because I wanted pearly, sparkly whites.
Well, who doesn't? Your teeth look beautiful from here, Bo.
But, for the last year or so, I've been using natural toothpaste or making my own. And I remember on New Year's, actually, a guy, one of my friends, he came up to me and he was like, your teeth are really white. Are they even real? And he put his hand in my mouth.
What?
To check if my teeth are real.
A random dude stuck his hand in your mouth?
And
you let him?
I could.
What's wrong with this story?
But, to me, that was just like, okay, what I'm doing is right. That's not cool, by the way.
Yeah. Get your germy bar hands out of my mouth. Things you never think you'd have to say to someone.
But, I've had that quite a lot. I've had people go to me, wow, your teeth are really white. And, wow, you don't have any wrinkles or, things like that.
Wow, you're 35.
Yeah. You're not at university.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And to me, that kind of just shows that, how
it's
we're
right
living and, being happy and less stressed and everything else really does play a big part in what we're doing and what we're trying to achieve and,
absolutely,
how we are and how people perceive us as well.
Right. Yeah, it is. This is really just all about encouraging ourselves as well as anyone out there to not only make small changes that make a big impact, but just to realize that we're worth it.
Yeah, and everyone has a gift, even if they don't know it, and they have something to offer.
Absolutely.
And they might not even know it, but they inspire other people because, I know that I inspire a lot of people. When I come in contact with women and I have a talk to them and maybe I can give them some strategies about their business and their branding, they walk away with more than what I think, because I get all these emails going, oh, wow,
right.
I was so inspired. And, I see them putting everything into action. And for me, I'm like, whoa, I didn't feel like I did that much, but I did.
Absolutely.
And it's still hard for me to kind of get that concept in my head. That's what we're doing.
Right. And I resonate with that because I'm coming out of a complete different, in my industry of the hair world, it's you're loving people and you do make them feel so much better that when they leave, they feel changed. Whether obviously you would hope that you do a great enough job on their hair that they feel beautiful. Well, thank you. But as well as, I have received the feedback over the years that they felt so encouraged by being in my chair and us being able to have a real conversation because a lot of people go to the hairstylist and it's just fluff and magazines. And, I generally dig deeper with people. But to me, in 15 years, I've kind of outgrown. Now it's like my life is spilling out in such a way that I don't want it to be through a physical thing. I don't want it to have to be sitting behind a chair and making someone feel great. I'd rather be, that's great and all, but I'd rather be able to use this platform to encourage people on such a broader scale. Exactly. And that's where I think it's so encouraging for me to be able to think more globally and affect more people because however we can be used, we're just tools.
We are, yeah.
We're just people.
We are.
Our hearts are in, I think, the right place. And
absolutely.
It's exciting.
And we want to lift everyone up together, we want us all to get the benefits from what we're creating as well. As one, not as separate individuals, I think, because for so long we've all been consuming and we've all been in our little pods and, thinking about and now I think it's time to think about us and we and, come together. And it's a really interesting time with the internet to be able to connect on so many different levels. And
my gosh, this is like never before.
And podcasting. How cool is this?
This is amazing.
I love podcasts.
Do you love podcasts?
Yeah, I do. I listen to them all the time.
And now you have one. How does this feel?
I know.
Wow.
But yeah, this is great. So yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, should we wrap up? And we don't want to give away too much on our first one, right?
We will slowly divulge more of what we have planned for this amazing site. If you guys have anything, questions or comments you want to put below this podcast episode, go to empoweredwomenschannel.com/1. This is our first episode, so we're going to kind of have a category system where you can, if you're out and about listening to this, and any podcast in the future, if you don't remember basically anything other than the number, and you want to go back to it later to find out what the guest talked about or what we covered or resources we talk about, links, you can find that by a number system. So today is the very first number 1 episode. So empoweredwomenschannel.com/1. And you guys can check out all the great stuff we have going on. Our Facebook, our Twitter, our newsletter. You guys can sign up. And as we continue to thrive and grow and we water our little seeds and they get bigger, there will be a lot more options for you guys to be able to plug in and connect with us. So be checking out our site regularly and join part of what we have going on over here.
Because there's so much great information on there.
It's amazing information.
And it's going to be really interesting. And we're going to be able to just connect. You can connect on a global level with, with so many people and what they're doing.
Well, you never know who you're going to meet.
I'm
looking across the table going, again, this wasn't even possible a few months ago. We never thought would be possible.
Yeah.
And you're sitting here in the studio today.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Well, Bo, I'm excited.
Yeah. And I'm so grateful for this project that we've got going as well.
It's amazing.
It is.
So stay tuned, you guys, for the next episode. It'll be number 2, the Empowered Women's Channel. And we really look forward to being in touch with you guys and helping in any way we can. And just thanks for your time and your support. And we love you guys. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye.
With grateful hearts, we thank you for joining this session of our Empowered Women's Channel podcast. We wish you an inspired day ahead wherever you are in the world. Remember to sign up for our newsletter at empoweredwomenschannel.com/subscribe. Instantly receive our fabulous free gift to you that you gals don't want to miss out on. Hey, Bo, do you know what women are?
People without beards?
We are not held responsible, liable in any way, shape, or form for extreme transformation or empowerment in your lives upon participating in the Empowered Women's Network. Random acts of kindness and spontaneous desire to make the world a better place is completely your own doing. Feelings of wanting to throw around pixie dust and free the unicorns have been reported, and we cannot take credit in any way, shape, or form for this unpredictable outburst, either now or in the future days ahead. Sporting a random fake beard and wanting to take selfies in random places while sporting it are completely your own doing. The laughter that follows doing that very act is contagious, so watch out. The shift that may take place from pessimism to a glass very overflowing has been reported, as well as sudden desires to bust into radical dance moves and singing at the top of your lungs. Set an overwhelming need to greet others in public places such as railway systems and crosswalks with giant smiles and compliments are encouraged, as well as appreciated. The future effects of kindness and other such behavior towards strangers might possibly not be seen or even known in this lifetime, although the magical effects they have on others' lives is astounding. Only love at your own risk and in your own way, shape, or form, regardless of what others may think or judge. Be advised and know that you and you alone are solely, completely, unequivocally, 111% responsible for being a world changer. No excuses or late notes from mom and dad will be tolerated at this point in time. No material on this blog is intended to suggest that you should not seek professional medical care. Always work with qualified medical professionals, even if you educate yourself in the field of live food, nutrition, and alternative medicine. I'm not a doctor, nor am I offering readers medical advice of any kind. None of the information offered here should be interpreted as a diagnosis of any disease, nor an attempt to treat or prevent any disease or condition. While information in this blog is discussed in the context of numerous conditions, it can be dangerous to take action based on any information in this blog or to start any health program without first consulting a health professional. The content found here is for informational purposes only and is in no way intended as medical advice, as a substitute for medical counseling, or as a treatment/cure for any disease or health condition, and nor should it be continued as such. Always work with a qualified healthcare professional before making any changes to your diet, prescription drug use, lifestyle, or exercise activities. This information is provided as is, and the reader/viewer assumes all risks from the use, non-use, or misuse of this information.